at 11 a.m. However, earlier this morning, it was announced that game has been postponed. That's a question of Coach Drinkwitz. Please press *1 on your telephone's keypad now. Coach, while we wait on any questions, if you could take a moment to comment on your team as you enter what is now an open date.
Yeah, just, disappointed for obviously our players, our coaches, our fans, our organization. You work so hard to have opportunities to participate, but, as we're all dealing with nationally and worldwide, this pandemic has presented problems. And the most important thing when we all started this was our players' safety and the integrity and safety of the game. And so, in that spirit, then, we made the best decision in coordination with the SEC in Georgia to postpone. We know that, we will move forward and work to improve and wait for our next opportunity. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
We'll begin with Ben Brainer, the State newspaper.
Hey, Eli, sorry to hear the news about y'all's game. Wanted to ask, how many guys are you down right now, and is it something that you think could maybe linger and affect next week's trip to South Carolina?
We're below the threshold at a certain position. We've been pretty transparent about the numbers and our lack of numbers just throughout opt-outs and NCAA sanctions and injuries throughout the year. Obviously we test every 3 days, and every 3 days you get a new set of problems or issues if they arise. The plan is to do everything possible in order to play at South Carolina. That will be our goal and intention. But to try to answer, I believe that would be 10 days out from right now. I think with this pandemic is just too far of an unknown. But we will do everything in our power to play, and should have guys back in time to play.
All right. Thanks, Eli.
Yep.
Next is Bob Holt, the Arkansas Democrat.
Hey, Eli, how you doing? I guess this is the second time you've had to adjust your schedule, and maybe the third time if you count Kentucky getting moved around. But you sort of have to roll with the punches, or just how do you kind of approach all this?
Well, honestly, Bob, I think it's about the 100th time we've had to adjust just scheduling, just from the third spring practice, where you find out that you're sending all your kids home to, not having spring, not having summer, adjusting, to mini camps, and, going from 12 games to 10 to all SEC. So I think that's the name of 2020 season, is just flexibility and adjustment, and try to move forward the best you can with the information you have. And it's a tip of our hat to our kids for just being resilient, and our organization for being resilient and trying to do the best we can every day.
I'm not very good at math. I got a D there at Mizzou in college algebra. But I think the SEC's been, even if things stay the same this weekend, I think the SEC would have still gotten in over 80% of the games scheduled to this point. You can look at it like, wow, look at all these cancellations. You can say, wow, look at all the games they got in with everything going on. Do you feel good that the SEC has been able to get in as many games as it has to this point?
I don't think, without a shadow of a doubt, there's not been a better leader of a conference than Greg Sankey in the SEC. And our continuation in being steadfast and making decisions with the best information possible. We've led the country in how we've gone about our protocols, our standards. We've adjusted when needed to be. We have been, I think we've been tremendous. And I think every time we play, I think every time I've shaken the head coach's hand before a game, we've talked about how fortunate it is we've gotten to play and how excited we are we get to play. And so, there's some cancellations this week. It's all kind of happened at one time, but we got to be resilient. We're going to keep moving forward. There's been disruptions in every major sports league, whether it's been baseball or NFL or SEC football or whatever. You just got to be resilient, move forward, and this too shall pass.
Okay, thanks.
Eli, I guess what kind of changed between last night when it kind of looked like you were going to hopefully be able to get the game in, and this morning when it was announced that it was canceled or postponed?
We got a test result back. We got our test results from yesterday back, and it just continued to compound the same issue that we were facing. And, we were going to do our dead level best. We tried yesterday. We went out there and practiced and tried to see if it was possible to make it work, and it just wasn't going to happen.
Gotcha. So was there another positive in the batch yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
Dave Yarman of Rivals.com.
Yeah, Eli, can you kind of walk us through what the communication and the process is like in this? Since we talked to you last night, I mean, I know you said it's an administrative and an SEC decision. Just kind of what was your role just in kind of listening to this, or how does it go when this happens?
Yeah, I mean, in the summer, there was SEC protocols put in place based on the medical task force guidance of what would constitute, the ability to need to reschedule a football game. My job is to take the information that's presented to me based off our athletic trainer, based off PAE, which is our independent testing company, based off Boone County when they contact traced, and present a roster to our administration, which then submits it to the SEC. Once you get below a number, you have to, we submit it every week. We highlighted that we were below a number, and we had to be very careful moving forward because of where we were. I think it's been no secret that I've made, no secret about where we were total scholarship players, I think, in every press conference I have. And we just got to the point where, for the sake of player safety and, our threshold, you take your emotions out of it and say this is what everybody's deemed as to be safe and go from there.
Next is Mike Griffith of the AJC.
Yeah, Coach, football question for you here. I know you said in your presentation yesterday you had a pretty good idea who would be at quarterback. Can you just give me your impressions on JT Daniels? Nobody's here at Georgia seen him play. I'm sure you and your coaches looked at plenty of film of him from USC.
He was a very talented player at USC. Obviously, was one of the most highly recruited kids in the country at quarterback. He's a talented kid, but I have no video or anything like that based off how he's recovered or what he's doing or what they're asking him to do at Georgia. So I really don't know that I would be have any insight on him as a player.
Thanks.
Next we'll go to Dave Matter, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Dave, are you there? All right, we'll try to come back to Dave in a second. Let's try Steve Mouton, WZZN.
Hey, Coach. Since you got the test results back this morning, I'm wondering from a schedule standpoint, what does the rest of your week look like in particular?
Well, we'll have a team meeting today and discuss with the team what we're doing, next steps moving forward, and then we'll do what we can to continue to improve and practice football and take advantage of our opportunities. We've got seniors who are wanting to put good tape together so that they know that they need to improve in order to help their futures, and we got underclassmen who are still trying to become the very best version of themselves as football players. So we'll practice today, practice Friday, Saturday, and get ready to go see who our next opponent is.
And with that practice Saturday, is that just kind of just for schedule's sake of just trying to keep things as normal as you possibly can?
Yeah, and try to stay in shape and, continue to work.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Let's go try Dave Matter one more time.
Hey, Eli, sorry about that. Just to clarify, the guys that were suspended for the first half, do those numbers then factor into the individual position thresholds?
I believe that. I'll say this: that didn't have any issue. That did not have an issue with whether or not we could play or not. Whether or not those guys were suspended or not suspended did not affect the outcome of whether or not we would be able to play.
Okay. And is it too early to think about the date where this Georgia game could be rescheduled at December 19th, if that's available for both teams, or is that kind of out of your hands?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with me. That would be up to the league office.